going on YouTube? OG Scoot is back for his last video, and I know that's probably gonna make some of you guys sad, but hey, you know, I'm gonna wrap this all up. So today's video, I'm gonna talk about media literacy. What is that? So we're gonna cover that. Secondly, we're gonna cover the future of video games and basically virtual reality and how, I guess, pretty much the rise of it, and I guess my own personal opinion, if you guys really even care about that. So stay tuned and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Alright guys, so you probably are asking yourself, now Scoot, what is media literacy? And I'm going to tell you. But first, understand media literacy is our duty, and it will make more sense in just a couple minutes. So what is it? Media literacy is the ability to access, analyze, and evaluate and communicate information in a variety of formats, including print and non-print media. So hopefully that this will give you a better understanding of what it is. Now, I'm going to tell you what media literacy isn't. So it is not 1. Media bashing, 2. Simply producing media, 3. Looking for politics, agendas, stereotypes, or representations. It's not looking at one point of view, and you don't just watch media, you should watch carefully and critically. You have to be out there and actively watching it to understand media literacy. So let's move on to the 5 core concepts of media literacy. So number 1 is all messages are constructions. What does that mean? I'm going to tell you. It's awareness of the choices in creating media, centralizes viewers in the subtle forces at work in the choice of portrayals and consequences depicted. Alright, so let's move on to core concept number 2. Media messages are creative languages with their own rules. I'll tell you what that means right now. Violence on TV news is different from newspapers, and the impact of violent lyrics is different from the violence in popular films. Alright, I get it. Number 3. Individuals experience the same messages differently. What? Media scenes mean different to different people with different age, race, religion, ethnicity, personal experiences, attitudes, backgrounds of the viewer. So basically what it means is I might not take offense to something someone else might take offense to. So you really have to be actively watching and understanding that part of media literacy, because it is very valuable, and you don't want to offend people. I mean, come on, everyone needs to be a nice person sometimes, right? So number 4 is media has embedded values and points of view. Messages may project a societal view or perspective on how people or should behave or act or feel. And the last media literacy core concept. Most media messages are designed to maximize profit or power. Mass media sells audiences as a commodity. Violence and sex are predictable ways to entice large audiences. And this, I think, applies to video games a whole lot. Because when you see these Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Halo, any of these games, it is violence, drugs, sex, like all these concepts and all these things that we as humans are really intrigued by. But we're intrigued by this company that's making these ads and everything. And us as humans, we don't necessarily see the ad as like sex, drugs, alcohol, and all that. We see it as, oh, that game looks super fun. But we have to be really aware of our surroundings and this media and everything, because our age group, I should specify that maybe a little bit better, 18 to about 30 years old, that these ideas are bought and sold, and people are figuring out how to sell these ideas to that age group, and it is very effective. So let's move on to the 5 questions to ask. Number 1, who created this message? And number 2 is, what techniques were used to target my attention? And I find it kind of interesting. I go to a store sometimes and I'll look around and I'm not even in, let's say I go to Target to buy grocery bags or something just random that, has nothing to apply to video games or really anything. But I'll be standing there in, I don't know, the cleaning supplies, and there's a billion different things right in front of my face, but I will see one of them and it will really grab my attention. And sometimes I can't even tell you why, but it could be the font that's being used or the colors or something on there. So you really have to be aware of these techniques, and if you really want to do something like this for a living, figure out what really draws your attention, your friends' attention, your parents, whatever, because it will help. Alright, so for number 3, how might different people interpret this message? And like I talked about it before, people can be offended in different ways, so you really have to be careful when you're giving these messages out in media and everything. So just be aware of that, and definitely, like I said before, you don't want to offend anyone. Number 4, what lifestyles, point of views are featured or omitted from this message? And number 5, why was this message sent? And to be completely honest, I think a lot of these messages are sent to sell products to this 18 to 30-year-old group. It definitely works. I can say it works on me sometimes when I when I can't see through it. But yeah, that's I think really why they're being sent out. And I guess if you have to break this down and take anything away from this, I'm going to say to be informed. Check your references, question people's motives, and be involved. Because if you're not involved, you're not really participating, and no one likes that. So there you go. I broke down media literacy for you guys, hopefully in a timely manner, and hopefully you guys can understand now what media literacy is. And I will be back with part 2 of this video, and we're going to talk about VR headsets and the future of games and my opinion on it, and it's going to be a whole bunch of fun, so stay tuned, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And remember, this is my last video, so at least just watch it all the way through. I'll see you soon, guys. Alright guys, I'm back for part 2 of the video, and like I said before, we're going to cover the future of video games, talk a little bit about these VR headsets that everyone's hearing about. So, I personally think, and I think a lot of people also think, that the VR headsets are going to be the future of video games. And you might be asking yourself, well, what does VR mean, and why would it be the future of video games? So VR means virtual reality, and basically this virtual reality in a video game will enhance your immersion into the video game. And that's pretty much everyone's sole purpose of video games, is to be immersed. It's the game creators' agenda, it's also the player's agenda, and like I've talked to you guys before, is creating an avatar. You want to be more immersed, but this can make you so much more immersed. So like you see in the background right here, it's a Halo game, first person going on right now, but all I'm doing is watching the screen. Now with this VR headset, we throw it on your face like this, and it will be a total immersion. Basically you'll be able to only see the screen. You won't be able to see what's around you, and it's gonna make you feel like you're that much closer into the game. And I think that will be very, very important. My only concern is with all this new virtual reality and everything is, so you got the VR headset on your face and you're you can see everything, but people are like coming out with like treadmill ideas where you have to actually physically walk on it to make your character move. I think in a perfect world, that would be an amazing, amazing setup for any gamer. But realistically, I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, we've seen things like that before with like DDR, joystick, mats, and like all those things that you can actually physically stand on, like the Wii Fit board. But a whole treadmill thing, I personally can't see that happening or becoming as mainstream, I guess, as virtual reality headsets. But you never know. Who am I to say? I'm not a video game expert by any means. But it's something to think about, and I think as time progresses more, people are going to set up rooms in their houses for a whole video game entertainment feeling, I guess. So with this room, it could include like a VR headset and like one of those treadmills that I was talking about, but it also could have surround sound speakers in the room if that VR headset doesn't incorporate those by then. But I think, my point is, I think that there will be rooms like what we know as bedrooms or offices or something like that. There will be like a multimedia room, and they'll start incorporating all these ideas into there, so it'll make it more functioning. So some of the bigger VR headset names is the HTC Vive. There's the LG 360. There's what probably, if you have heard of VR, is you probably have heard of the Oculus Rift. You've also heard of the Samsung Gear and maybe the Sony PlayStation VR. And I guess that kind of brings me into another point, is Sony's coming out with this VR headset, and rumor is that they're going to have to upgrade the PS4, and a lot of people are really upset about this because they bought a PS4, maybe 4 years ago, not even, but now they already have to upgrade their system if they want to use that. And I think this whole upgrading your system only after 3 or 4 years is just such a debacle, and it's not needed. I think, these video game people are already getting so much money out of us. $60 for a controller, $400 for the system. You have to have a cool TV to run it on. The whole experience is already pretty spendy. So I don't think having to upgrade your system when you've already bought one is really necessary, I should say. I don't know. Anyways, Nintendo is also rumored to release a new Nintendo system called the Nintendo, it's like an NEX or something like that. Right now it doesn't have a name, but they're talking about that, and I think that this is almost Nintendo's last chance, really, to capture the audience and stuff. And it's too bad, but they need to do something to gain a bigger audience and maybe a newer audience than what the PlayStation and the Xbox is doing. Again, Xbox is thinking about coming out with a new system with upgraded graphics that can support a new 4K TV. I personally do have a 4K TV, but I think it might be a little redundant to buy another Xbox just to have that much of a better resolution. I know it's still it's going to be 4 times better than 1080p, but I don't know if I can really justify dropping another $400 or $500 on a new game system. By then I would rather just try to build my own computer. But I think overall video games are heading in a good direction. I think people are starting to realize the benefits of virtual reality and really how cool it is and how immersed you can get. And even on YouTube, these people are having reaction videos to these things, and they really feel like they're on a roller coaster or shooting zombies or whatever, really whatever they're doing. But I find that really intriguing, and I really do want to get my hands on one. As far as I know, they're sold out for for a while, so I might have to get my name on a list. But you never know, and hopefully your boy can get it one and test it out, and maybe I'll make some more videos and show you guys that. But, yeah, I guess that kind of concludes this video and my whole video series. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I tried to keep this video, this and the first video in this sequence, a little bit shorter than I have with the other videos. Not that I'm trying to leave you guys, early, but I don't want to take up much more of your time. I know some of these videos have gotten pretty lengthy, and thank you for sticking through them and watching them. I do really appreciate that. This has been a great experience, and I definitely will make more videos. I don't really know what I'll make them on, but if I find something compelling enough to make them, I'm going to do that for sure. But thanks again for sticking around, listening to your boy Scoot. And, you know, it's been a pleasure to talk to you guys. And hey, you know what? This isn't going to be the last of me. This is just going to be the last of this series. But I'm going to drop a little extra video on you guys with some of the gameplay I've recorded on my Xbox. And it's mostly going to be NHL and Battlefield because, I mean, those are the only two games I play on a regular basis, which is kind of sad. But I'm going to show you that in a separate video, so go nuts, watch that. And hey, I'll see you guys later. It's your boy Scoot, out. I want it all.